Right, the clock will call our meeting to order. We have a quorum. We'll stand please for the invocation and the pledge of allegiance. Sure.
Yes, sir. Heavenly Father, once again, we thank you for the day and all the many ways that you bless us, Lord. We ask you to watch over us as we conduct the city's business tonight, workshop and special call meeting. Give us the wisdom we need to make the right decisions for the citizens of West Orange. That's my prayer in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Protect the flag. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible. Please speak. All right, we'll go into item B, our special session. A discussion and possible action on a budget amendment to provide funds to purchase the pending order of a fire truck. Funds will be deducted from the capital improvement account and transferred to the general fund. Payment is necessary until reimbursement funds are received from the state. Is there any discussion? Any questions? I hope that everybody's aware of this. What we're doing is we are purchasing a new fire truck, and our grant money, I feel like it's because the company that built fire truck for us didn't let us know a delivery date. Okay, it's gonna be here on September the 20th. And we could have had all of the preliminary work we need to do with getting grant money allocated and all of that. So what we're gonna do is go ahead and take this money out of our capital improvement fund and then replace it whenever grant money becomes available. Are there any questions?
Maybe you don't need a motion for this.
Yes.
Okay, I want to make a motion we do the transfer from truck.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any more discussion? All right, I'll call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carried. So we have completed the agenda for the first session, and at 5:15 we'll start our workshop. Meeting is adjourned. Okay, we'll call a meeting to order. Go to item B, workshop topic. First on the list is ordinance number 302D. 302D is an ordinance repealing ordinance 302C of the city of West Orange, Texas, establishing ordinance 302D, prohibiting the installation of mobile homes within the city and requiring a permit for construction of, addition to, or extension of a HUD code manufactured home park, formerly called a mobile home park, and requiring a license to operate the HUD code manufactured home park and setting forth the site requirements. HUD code manufactured home park standards and other prerequisites to the issuance of a permit or license, providing definitions and prescribing regulations for management of HUD code manufactured home parks, and providing for non-conforming HUD code manufactured home parks, and providing fees and containing penalties for the violation of this ordinance, setting a severability clause. There's no periods or anything in there, so it's just one big long sentence. And so we have a proposition for an ordinance 302DE, which will change some of the things in 302D. Some of it is just adding some different definitions, but there are some major changes to 302D that I'd like for the council to be able to discuss among ourselves and hear from the public if anyone would like to comment. One of the main changes that we are eliminating with 302DE are the areas where a HUD code manufactured home are permitted. And we have a map of that area attached for the council.
With a big X through it, that means no more.
Well, that's on the 302DE that you have, and we have not voted on it. That is, but the blue line, the blue line surrounding that area is the area that we have, set aside for mobile home parks in West Orange. Any comments, any discussion? You can see that better on 302D, doesn't have the big action.
So the one with the big black X,
Yeah,
got the blue line running all through it,
yeah,
that's existing as we speak now.
yes, it is. 302D is still the ordinance in effect. I was just mentioning that in our ordinance, new ordinance 302DE, it says that we are an ordinance repealing ordinance number 302C, which is actually 302D instead. And then we are going to have ordinance 302E if it is voted on at that council.
So the blue line, present day, is some kind of floodplain.
It was kind of drawn along where the floodplain was at that time, correct? And that's where mobile homes are allowed in the city.
Presently, but there's also other areas in the city that are considered flood areas. There. So my understanding is if we were to adopt this, that mobile homes or manufactured homes, code manufactured homes, that's a lot of. That'll be with you. Were we, to adopt this, then, a property owner could come forward, and in the event that they wanted to place a, HUD manufactured home on a lot, it would have to be with the, approval of surrounding neighbors, is that correct? And plus other criteria they'd have to meet, that, that's like the ordinance. And council also, right?
But yes.
And then any, if there's an existing, manufactured home and they wish to replace it with one, even if it's, well, anywhere in the city for this matter, then that would be allowable as long as it's within a certain period of time and certain quality or age of the mobile home.
Well, I don't think there's a mention of an age in there.
The occupation code allows it as long as it's newer than what was there, and it's at least the same living square footage. It has to be newer, it has to be at least.
So you could have 1940 model and move into 1941.
Well, that would actually be a mobile home, which has.
Yeah. But that fact all came into existence in 76.
Yeah, if it was 76 or 77, then yeah, potentially you could have, I mean, and you can't, the occupation code says that the city shall allow them, but the city can determine where they can be. So you can, while you can prohibit a mobile home, absent the grandfathering issue, you can't prohibit a manufactured home in its entirety. But the city does have the ability to determine where they can be.
Isn't there a 30-day stipulation?
So, and Ms. Brown, I think, the neighboring approval was on mobile home parks, not just neighborhood.
But just like them two beside me, if he moves one out, he's got 30 days to move another in.
Correct. It has to be 1976.
Can't be a mobile home, it's gotta be a fully
Has
manufactured.
code manufacturer.
Chris, is there any way that we could put a stipulation on the year of the manufactured home that could be moved,
Arguably, yeah.
like 10 years?
Are you saying like of how new it would have to be to replace one?
Yeah.
There are cities that have done it, to my knowledge, that's never been struck. Yeah.
Does Mike inspect those every year?
Just
Only
the,
if they're
there's
rented?
the parks, just the parks.
So that's a rental property.
Okay, that's just.
Most of them about 20 years.
I think they're expected when they come in. That's it. If it's your primary residence.
One of Western. Chester.
Chief's Deli found a city that in their ordinance it states that you cannot have one older than 5 years old.
That was one city that had that.
It would be good to have in this ordinance. So you bring something that's already 20 years old, it's already 20 years old.
Rule of thumb, what, how long a mobile home lasts?
Not long.
Thank you.
Probably how long you take care of it. I mean,
How will you take care of it?
And you can't really remodel a home, you can a home.
But you can remodel, you can replace
The flooring,
the flooring and stuff.
The newer models you can, but not the older models. It's not a thing.
and you were asked the question, they are not inspected, or they are inspected,
So the parks are inspected and
but the individual on the property is not.
that's correct.
Unless it's a rental property.
All rental property is inspected.
Unless they find reason under the universal building code, they find reason to maybe go and inspect it.
Yeah, I mean,
We don't want to get into that, do we?
I don't think you want to single it out.
Yeah,
If you live in a good
Right.
manufactured home. If you're gonna be inspected.
well, I'm actually, is there anybody in the audience that would like to speak on this matter?
Yeah, it's a workshop, we all.
It's a workshop, can I say, or
Yeah.
ask some questions?
Yeah, you.
I have to go with you. Okay. Of course, you're familiar that we had one move in unexpectedly. One, and he had told us it was a manufactured home. We understood that the manufactured home was like the Thomas's. And because that's what they were told they had to put there when their house was torn down with the flood. And it looked like a home. And they had to have a skirting, because my brother kind of looked at this other property and thought about putting a place there to, have a rent home on this other empty property. And the guy at the time that was here in your position told me, no, you can't put a trailer there. It has to be a manufactured home or a house. And the manufactured home would have to look like Dorothy Banks' home. And so in turn, Paul bought the house next door to me and had it renovated, and it's now rented out. So anyway, I was surprised to find out that a trailer house can be put anywhere in West Orange where we live. And I got to thinking about it, there are trailer houses. Oh, there was one by Mom and Dad's. The Browns had over there on the corner of Tanglewood and Irene. But it was a newer home, and I didn't think anything about it. But then my sister told me, she said, well, they bring down the value of your property. And I said, well, here we are trying to redo our homes and bring up the value of our property. And this is my question. So if we're bringing up the value of our property and these trailers are being put in, are they bringing down our value of our property after we're remodeling. Paul put a lot of money in that house next door to me. We put a lot of money for Gabby Haslam. We put a lot of money in our property that and remodeled it. Is our value of our property going down? If we decide to sell it, has it gone down?
I don't see the property values going down, but that would be up to the Orange County Appraisal District. They do the appraisals.
Exactly,
You'll probably find out for
exactly.
You talking about Buddy and Beverly Brown? You said the Browns? Buddy and.
Oh, Buddy, yeah, Buddy, in that, which they had sold their,
Yes, ma'am.
to someone else now, but, yeah, that's true too. The homes across the street was put in without the permit, and I know Gabby was allowed to keep it ahead of it. Because we told the guy that, hey, you need the permit, this has got to go through this. Oh, yeah, it's been done. It was not done legally, but anyway. Like that, it wasn't here. It would have hit the fan. And that's what happened there.
Thank you, Paul.
Can I say
Yes, ma'am.
something?
I think the point that Corey was trying to make was if you have a nice home and they move in, let's be honest, if it's 1976, it's 49-year-old home across the street from you. You can't help but ask yourself, who's gonna want my house if that's what I'm looking at? And I have nothing against people moving in a mobile home that's newer. 10 years is reasonable. If you've been in a mobile home that's older than 10 years, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I was in one that was moved in recently because the lady got assistance from Catholic Charities. Her floor is already buckling and she's 2 years in this home. We've got to set a standard to try to bring West Orange back to what it was 50 years ago. This was a beautiful community. It could be that way again, but we've got to start somewhere. We've got to start getting rid of what's not good so that what's good can move back in. And it has to start with you. You asked yourself as a council, is this what I want across the street from me? And if you can say yes in your heart, then go for it. Thank you.
Thanks, Mary.
Thank you, Mayor. Anyone else? You Anyone else like to say anything? All right, so we have, talked about changes that would like, that could be made to the ordinance. Putting an age limit on
The ones that can move
what
back.
can move in. And, again, we can't take any action because it is a workshop. So we'll have to have our ordinance committee revisit the ordinance, take into consideration what's been said today. And then we'll, have it on our agenda maybe at the next council. Is there anyone, would we have any more discussion about it? Does anybody have any more questions? You know, as far as, my opinion on this, or my thoughts, I guess I should say, is that if we say that there's no more trailers to be allowed in West Orange, that's okay, but you've already got, I don't know how many trailers in West Orange, you know, they're kind of scattered out throughout the whole city. And so in 30 years, have we accomplished anything? If someone wants to move another trailer in, then, if they have a trailer and they can only afford to put another trailer in there, and not build a house, then they are able to do that, as long as they do it within 30 days. We still have, I'm sorry, well, some of them are actually mobile homes, some of them are code manufactured homes. I just don't think we accomplished a whole lot by saying in West Orange, we can't have any more code manufactured homes. It really, it's not the code manufactured home that brings the value down, it's whether or not the people who live on that property, whether it's a home or whether it's a code manufactured home, is whether or not they take care of that property, and whether or not they keep it up like they're supposed to. If you have a code manufactured home, HUD code manufactured home, and you take care of it, it'll last a long time. You know, and if you keep the grass cut and you have the siding up on it, it doesn't look bad. You have a home on the corner of Henrietta and South that looks nice. They keep the grass cut, they keep their stuff trimmed. They got a fence around the back of it. To me, it looks as good as a lot of homes that started to do. So, I just don't know what you actually accomplished. I hear the comment about, value, your home value. And that may have an issue. That may be an issue, but I just don't think it's gonna be that big of an issue with what the houses will be valued at next door. And we do have that area where we can put in code manufactured homes, which a lot of the area that we're putting those homes in right now, or able to put those homes in right now, are lower. And they are, during a storm surge like Ike or another Harvey, they may flood. Code manufactured home still has to be put in at a level above that floodplain, whatever the government has said that level is it 10 feet?
Is it 9?
It's gotta be 10 feet above or 9?
The floor elevation in most areas in West Orange is 9.
9.
That's what the law says. We have to.
So, you know, that's just where I'm at with it. I think that it possibly says that to a lot of folks that if they could buy a lot in West Orange, which is not valued as highly as some lots in the county are, it says that if that's all they can afford to put on that lot, then West Orange has no need for them. You don't want them in West Orange. You know, unless they build a house on it, you know, if you build a house on it, you're okay. It's better to have some property being used rather than none. You know? And most people who want to build a home, are going to build a home where it's less likely to be flooded, where they're less likely to be inundated with water, even if it's built up on stilts, where we all know and where homes have been built in West Orange that are up at a higher elevation, higher than the normal level of slab would be if you built a house on slab. And those homes could be, you know, you could not be able to get into your home for several days because of the high water. And that's just the chance that you take where you build. So that's just kind of my thoughts on it. And I'm just one vote on the council, so I'll have to vote the way my heart leads me to, and I hope that everyone else will.
You mean,
I had a little comment about when you brought up the housing situation and how some houses can be just as bad. With that being said, the houses are inspected by the building, whether they be rent houses or homeowners. And we can have them condemned, or they have to fix them up, they come to court or something. We can't do that with manufactured homes, apparently, only the rental one. So,
You can still deal with them as far as being an unsafe
You
structure.
can enforce the building code.
Yeah.
I thought
okay,
you were
that's
talking
what I was
about-
asking
I thought you
a while
were
ago
talking
about the
building
building
side.
code. Yeah, the universal building.
They're not inspected, just
Right.
because they are.
Inspected either unless they're a rental property. Like our rental homes are
You have
inspected.
to register. Yeah. I just know that there are houses here that are in bad shape. They're probably what 1921 models, and you know, probably haven't been kept up. Like you said, I don't know if the manufactured home would be 1941 that would still be standing. But- And I do believe it does devalue the property of the homeowner next to it.
It's gonna be on the next meeting agenda.
Sir?
Will this be on the next meeting agenda?
Yeah, we'll have the ordinance and our ordinance committee will go through and make the changes that we, talked about here. And, then we'll put it up for vote on our next agenda. All right. Is there any other comments? All right, we'll move on to item number 2. The, First Orange Municipal Court, alternate judge position.
Mayor, I'd like to recommend that, we table this to a future date.
Just a motion.
Is my motion required?
Yeah.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion that we table this to a future date.
Second.
This is a workshop. We do this in a workshop.
It's not really an actionable item. But I guess to the extent that somebody else wants to comment on it, we can close the workshop.
Can we have an executive session?
No, ma'am, because, it's not listed in the agenda
Okay.
and save all language at the bottom is not there. So we'll be able-
Okay.
I actually
Next
don't
week.
wanna have it tabled for later. It's my life that's being affected by this. I've been on so many ups and downs with, yes, you are, no, you aren't, yes, you are, well, we got this, well, we got that. And then the last 2 times we are gonna go just exactly as we've been doing, there's not gonna be any changes. And now here we are here. I don't want a table. I want to, let's either decide, am I or am I not? Do we need to find somebody or don't we need to find somebody?
We don't.
There's so much, I don't know if we need to wait till and have a closed session next meeting, in my opinion.
There's just some things that we need to discuss in a closed session, in an executive session. I'm gonna adjourn the meeting, okay?